How's it going, guys? It's Poacher Set, and welcome back to the episode of the Europa Universalis 4 campaign as the Netherlands, the Dutch Return campaign. I have realized I should just, I need to make sure that I need to, just take care of business. Take care of some problems. For instance, these rebels here. I have rebels that have just been, sitting around doing stuff. Everywhere. Where are these ones? Yeah, these are the ones that are, in here. Yeah, these ones are a real problem, actually. Separatists, Catholic zealots, you know? It's annoying, certainly. I don't know what we can do about it. I don't think they can do this, right? Yeah. I don't know. None of them are in danger of firing or succeeding, but at the same time, you know. These ones up here, same thing, but these ones are also cut off though, so I don't know if there's anything I can do about it. I don't know. I'll tell you what. Let's come over here and recall our settlers, colonists. Do one there. Another one here. The third one. Let's come up here and let's start connecting some of these little exclaves. Exclaves? That's right. Enclave? No, enclave. No, these are exclaves. Yeah, let's start doing some of this stuff. Seems good. Seems good. As far as the ones in Brazil, I'm not sure what we can really do about those. They are being very, very bad. So I think it's time that we start integrating our vassal here. Nice. I do think this is about the time we do this. We have plenty of Diplo points. We have too many, even. It costs a total of 833 points. That's actually not that much, especially because it's a pretty good bit of land there. And they've gotten quite powerful. Our vassals in general, the more vassals we have, and we are going to grow our other vassals more. So the more that we can consolidate a little bit, I think we'll be fine. This one is up in the Isles. They're not as useful. I'm pretty sure that this is what we want to do. So I'm going to go and start annexing them. And with that being said, I think we're going to go to war with Ming here in a second. They are out of war with Russia, which is unfortunate for us. I was hoping they would be at war a little longer. How many armies do we have? We have 30 here, 40, 30, 30, 30, another 30 that's going down there. Okay, and another 30 here, right? Yeah. So almost, it's about 200,000 or so. That's interesting, yeah. Okay. We do also have, hold on, I think we have enough now to upgrade the rest of our ships, which is nice. We should certainly do so. No reason not to. This fleet is almost down here. What is this? Rebel effort. Catholic zealots? I don't care. I don't care about the Catholic zealots. Whatever. Let them come. Alright, let's get back this province for New Zealand. I love the fact that it's New Zealand, but it's actually just Australia. That's nice. Oh my. Okay, man, I can't believe that since last episode or whatever, I just have not been able to figure out what in the world I wanted to talk about this episode. I have no freaking clue. I thought I normally think I have a decent memory, but this time I'm losing faith in myself, you know? It's not good. I don't remember what it was that I wanted to talk about at all. I just don't remember it. Okay. Let's see here. What about the Mamluks? So those are a truce. We don't have a truce with you right now. You're in the coalition, though. We probably shouldn't go to war with you, huh? Fair. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead, and I think we are going to go to war with Ming. We could go to war with Japan first. That's always an option, but I think it's more beneficial to go to war with Ming. Get all this land here. So let's go ahead and do it. You know, might as well. Once this fleet is really repaired, I guess that's the qualifier. So like 3 months or so. This does not have a shipyard, doesn't it? It does not. Come over. First, come over here. This is probably no. This is unnecessary. What am I doing? Our colonies are going to war of their own accord now, which is what I like to see. Okay. How many more months now? 1 more month after this. Alright, cool. 1 more month. 1 more month. At the next tick, we will declare war. I mean, we could declare war now, honestly. Yep, imperialism. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and go to war with Ming. And just gobble up as much of the land as we can. So let's do it. Yep, this is gonna be good. I think this should be fun. We should also, though, we could probably afford to be doing other wars. So, like, not in Europe as much because we have that coalition. But we might be able to go to war with, like, sneak in a war with someone if they turn their eye, you know, for a second. I think that we should also try to go in the New World. Like, we are doing pretty all right there. I'm not really going to worry about that. I don't think we need to consciously be pushing too hard for that. But with, like, Spain, when does our truce with UN? 57. So not too soon. So can't do that just, you know, right away. Where are other places that we could be doing wars? I guess we don't have that many options after all. I thought we had more than we do. Castile could be fun. They're allied with Cologne. That could be a good way to get around the coalition. I mean, France is in the coalition, but go to war with them. We could go to war with Japan while we're doing this, you know. Are there any? There is a core here, Otomo. That one has a core there in Aki. There are some. So what I'm thinking is that maybe we go down here and like release Otomo. Like we could do a war with Japan, I'm pretty sure, right? While we're doing the war with Ming as well, or soon after, you know. Just start doing wars a little more fast-paced, you know, a little more rapidly. Why are we only spending 2 a month on Thoman? It said 5 a month, right? Seems not good. Why are we doing only at 2 a month? 2 a month? Why? Same religion. Diplomatic reputation we don't have. Very good. That's fair. Doesn't royal marriage is supposed to add on though, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. That seems a little strange to me. That's not. Hopefully we'll get a Diplo rep guy. And actually, that makes me think. Is there no nothing there for it? I don't know. Fair. Alright, yeah. We have declared on them. And now we must. You are still. Oh yeah, after this one. Excuse me. Okay. Oh yeah, I guess one thing I was talking about is the coffee I have. So the coffee I am drinking with while I'm playing this game and recording right now is a Italian brand that actually was. Lots of times it's like. There we go. Lots of times when it's like, oh, it's an Italian brand. Sure, it is. You know, like it's like, oh, do they really drink it there though? But this brand is actually a brand that it's Lavazza, and they actually, I know that they are decently like known in some places in Europe at least, because in Spain they actually had, that was the vending machines they had were all Lavazza vending machines, and it's actually pretty all right. I like their coffee all right. It's not like luxury, but it's like it's decent enough. And so that's the coffee I'm drinking right now. I'd recommend it enough, you know. It's pretty good. What can we do? What can we do with this stuff down here? Like, what are some cultures that we want to start converting stuff to? With land that we own. Can we convert this? Yes, we can. We can actually convert most of this stuff down here. I'm not gonna worry about the Yemeni stuff, but like all the stuff down here. Where do we have as states, actually? Yeah, stuff that, like this, we have as a state. Somalia, yeah. Somali there. Here, I want you to go and become Somali, because this is land that we have stated already, but is not a promoted culture. And I think we could do the same with Yemeni. We're never going to make Yemeni a promoted culture. Not nearly enough development to warrant it. So I think we start converting all of our Yemeni land to be... Oh, we can't. It has separatism. That's right. Okay, so eventually, though, we should start converting that as well. What about in Europe? Do we have anything that we wish to convert? We have Wallonian. We have Francian land that we could convert. So Picardy is separatism again. So same thing. I don't know what else we could use our diplomatic power for. So I don't know. So we have you coming up here now. I want you to hunt down this Ming fleet. Hunt down their fleet and destroy it. There's their fleet. Do we have... You know what? This is one thing we can do, actually. There you go. Do that. In fact, we need to hire some other leaders. We need to hire some land leaders. Granted generalship. What do we get? What do we get? It's alright. And I'll probably hire a couple generals as well. A conquistador as well. That's going to put us over. So maybe not. Yeah. We'll wait a little bit on that. No, I guess yeah, continue. Try to find this. Yeah, try to hunt down that fleet. Meanwhile, I'm gonna start. We're gonna start transporting dudes over here. So, where do we like make our landfall? That's the real question. You know, where do we go with our armies here? I think for one, I'm gonna cancel that. Actually, I'm gonna manually do this because I don't completely trust the game. Yeah, like come over here. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I have some Italian coffee and it's pretty all right. That's one thing that in Spain it took me a while to get used to, is that the coffee culture is very different there. It's more like espresso shots and like small cups of coffee that are very like condensed, and that is something that was not something that it was actually something I expected, but I was not something that I anticipated having a hard time getting used to. But it was. I was like, by the end, I was like, I just want some freaking American coffee, you know. That's the thing. I think there's a we would always like tease the people there. We would tease like the people who ran the program and stuff. They'd be like, you like Americans, like you with your weak coffee, and it's like it's not really weak. It's just different, you know. It's like, I think they think that I think it's a conception that our coffee is weaker because it's less condensed and all at once. But it still has just as much flavor. That's the thing, I think. If you make it right, at least, it has just as much flavor. And it lasts you longer. That's the idea. And so that's why, I don't know. It's not really weaker. It's not like we can't handle a strong coffee taste, you know. Plenty of times we will have a strong coffee taste in our coffee. Just a little bit different flavor. I don't know. That was something that I think there was a preconceived notion of what American coffee is like. To a certain extent is true. It is like watered down. It's not as strong all at once, but that doesn't mean that it's like weaker, you know. Okay. Okay. But yeah, so anyways, I guess the other thing I want to talk about is the D&D stuff. So I've been doing D&D with we've been doing D&D with our group now for like quite some time, and it's been really fun. I didn't expect I would get as much into D&D as I have. It's been, what was that? Masira, where is that? Down there. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I wasn't necessarily expecting to get super into D&D, but I've gotten pretty into it. I don't think I'm as into it as a couple of the people in our group. Like, some people in our group have like gone out of their way to like know all these like, you know, new things, that Wizard of the Coast comes out with for the game, like new additional rules and stuff that you can use, new classes and stuff. And I'm like, whatever, I don't really care. I think the thing is for me that with D&D, the way I approach it is more of like it is a vehicle by which to create fun stories and have fun as a group. I don't necessarily think I have approached it the same way as the rest of the group, where I think a couple members of our D&D group, and this is something that I kind of don't like actually, but it's like, whatever, I don't judge them for it. A couple members of the group are like, I think they approach the game, I think they approach D&D as if it's like a video game, but a personalized, more free-form video game. I don't like that. I don't think that's the right way to approach it. D&D is not a video game. It's been around since before video games were really a thing. You know, the earliest video games like Pong or whatever did exist, I guess, but around the same time. But still, it is a video game. It is not a video game and only has remote semblances to it. I don't think that the purpose of D&D is the same as a video game. I think there's a lot of stuff that differs more than brings it together. I think, you know, they're more different than they are similar. So, yeah, I did get that fleet. Destroy him. 3rd of January. Yes, we're gonna catch him. Nice. So yeah, and so I'm always a little concerned when like the players in our group, they like start to talk about stuff like as if it's a video game. They're like, you know, and there's nothing wrong, I think, with like min-maxing and stuff, which is certainly a video gamey thing. Min-maxing and being very tactical with your thinking, that is certainly part of D&D as well. It's not like it's something that is not something that's unique to video games. It's a thing in D&D as well. It certainly is. However, I don't think the focus should be on that at all times. I think in combat, then playing optimal is pretty nice. However, I don't think that's even always what you should be doing in combat. Like, I think that the idea is that you should always do the optimal best move to be optimized for damage output is not the right way to approach D&D, because a lot of times if we are playing games, it's like we aren't gonna, or if we were a warrior, you know, a hero in real life, we're not always gonna make the right decision in combat. Sometimes we will run into a situation, you know, there's always in movies like the one character that like will run into combat to be a hero and go out in a hero's death, even though they maybe didn't even need to, you know, and that certainly is a little cliche, but certainly that would make sense in real life. Like the optimal best move is not always the one that your character would do, and so I think that sometimes our group, sometimes the players will get a little too concentrated on what is going to be the best move, how are we going to get out of this with the most damage and the least casualty, the least damage taken. Which is fine, but not really the way I would approach it, I guess. Of course, I have not played as a player any time before in the past, so maybe I'm speaking with a lack of experience, and that is totally plausible. Certainly something that could be true. So Zaylan Aiden, yeah, that's right. I knew that. Yeah, so I don't know. It's super interesting, but yeah, sometimes like the players are like I think there's a YouTuber I watch called whose name is, I was gonna say he's called, that sounds weird, you know, named Matt Colville, and he does a lot of great D&D stuff. In fact, I would say, like, for those of you watching this video, you know, out of the maybe few dozen people watching this, if you are interested in D&D at all but don't know where to begin, you know, that's I think that's a common thing. Just like, you know, you don't have anyone who's played before, so you don't have a dungeon master who can lead you guys through the first steps. You do not need to. You can totally, I think, and I've done this now, you can totally DM with no experience. It's just, you know, it'll be a little rough at first, but you'll get better as you go. And you have to start somewhere, right? And once you DM for a while, then you can say to one of your players, be like, okay, well, I DM, or to your players in general, be like, I DM'd for a long time now. It's time for one of you guys. I'm going to take a break. I've been burned out, you know. It's time for one of you guys to take up the reins. And you've played now, so now you can know how to DM. You know, you just got to take that first leap, you know. And so there's this one YouTuber, Matt Colville, who has done, like, 50 videos now in one series over the course of a couple of years talking about running the game. Here's how you run the game, and it is awesome. Like, you should absolutely 100%. Go watch his stuff. It is awesome. It is if you've been wanting to get started with D&D or have ever thought about it, considered it, you should totally do it. And you can go watch his videos. He will outline to you a lot of tips, a lot of stuff that is like, here's how you can do this, here's what you should approach this like. And in one of his videos he talked about like the different types of players. And I think lots of people have tried to analyze what are the types of players. I think there's different ways to approach it, but in general, there are certain like archetypes and certain like types of people that play D&D that want different things out of their experience. And so and I definitely can see that with our group. For instance, one of the players in our group, he's like, he doesn't care about the rulings and like what the DM rules for a rule. If it doesn't go along with what he had thought would happen, he's like, whatever, that's fine. He'll try something even if it doesn't work. You know, he's willing to experiment. He's in it for like the story, and I think really in it for his character. He likes his characters, actually. Characters. He's had more than one character. One of his characters died, actually. He doesn't care. He took it very whereas I think some of the other group who haven't had any deaths so far, I think they might take it a little wrong if one of their characters died. He was a really good sport. He has played D&D before, actually, and he was like, yeah, it happens. And then he made a new character, and I think he's really excited to play his new character. It's actually coming up tomorrow from the time I'm recording this on Thursday, the 5th. But yeah, so he so he's not super into like the tactics and the rules. He's into his character. He likes his character. He likes playing into the characters, leaning into their quirks, and I really like that. I think that's awesome. That's how I think I will play whenever I get a chance to play. However, there's another player in the group, and none of this is like meant to be judgmental. I think this is like perfectly fine that there's multiple ways to approach the game. You know, that's just how it is. There's another member of the group who is more into like, how can I get the coolest damage builds and stuff? How can I get the coolest builds for damage, for functionality? And that to me is like, whatever. I'm not super into that. I don't think it's for me personally. I'm like, that's not really my playstyle. I don't think. Just like without having played, I'm like, I don't think that's what I would be interested in. So yeah. And then there's other people I think who are like, they want to narrate their characters' actions in an epic way. They're cinematic. I think that's actually how Matt Colville, this YouTuber I'm referencing, how he actually described it. He said they're cinematic players. They want to be on the front line shooting bolts of lightning out of their hands, or, you know, chopping off enemies' heads. They want the cinematic effects. They're actors at heart, I guess. I think for me, I really care about more of like, I think for me, I'm more along the lines of like one of those people. I really like the story and my character. But then that's the thing though, I'm not super into the characters, because there is another player in our group a different player, who his thing is that he really likes creating characters. He never plays a lot of them, but he creates them, and that act of creating characters is fun for him. Creating the builds, creating some of the backstory, very light elements of backstory. For me, I'm more like all in like on this one character. I want to flesh out their backstory and really dive deep into their character. I don't really care as much about having the character creation aspect, the creating part. But I get how that would be fun. I don't judge at all. I'm like, whatever. That seems like, if you're into that, then that's cool. Go ahead. Do what makes you happy. But yeah, I think that should be at 4, right? Yeah. Okay. But so yeah, I think that's an aspect of some players. There's different players who want different things, and yeah, like the one player who is super into like building damage builds and being really like min-maxy with that. With his playstyle, his was the one that I'm most like, I don't really like the fact that it is so prominent, because of the fact that it is I don't like the fact that it's so prominent in the game, because I don't think it should be the main focus. But again, I'm not gonna tell him how to have fun. I think that it's fine that he does what he does. It's just not my thing. But then but so like that player, he doesn't he doesn't like he doesn't really get into character that much, and that's perfectly fine, you know. I'm saying this not to judge him, but to say like there's different ways to play. He doesn't like have a particular voice laid out for his character, and most of the time when he like says something that you know he like talks for his character, he doesn't actually physically say what they're gonna say. Sometimes he does. A lot of time he'll say like he says the following. He'd be like, I'm probably gonna say yada yada yada. Oh my god, our manpower, our cap went up a ton from presumably the cultures thing. I don't know. Wow. He'd be like, I am gonna go ahead and say this. I'd probably say yada yada yada. I'd probably say this and that and the other. He doesn't actually say it in character all the time, and that is totally fine. He is telling me what his character would say, and that's fine. But I think that there is a certain aspect where it doesn't get him in character as much as other people, but that's okay. However, I do think that that's unrelated, I think, to the issue of, which is an actual issue, I think, of players approaching the game like it is a video game. There is that certain aspect where it's like, some players think that this is like a video game, but in tabletop form. That is not the way I want them to approach it. If anything, the way I want to approach this game, D&D, is like a board game almost, more so. Like I want the roleplay aspect to be more prominent, you know. Even if it doesn't. That doesn't mean that has to be how you get all your fun out of this, but like being able to recognize that it's not a video game. For instance, with like death and danger in the game, video games lots of times will adapt to your current experience level, and the game, you know, your missions will be perfectly leveled for what your current level of your party or your character is. That's not how I do my D&D games. I sort of used to do that. I've shifted away from that. Now it's like there is a static element. There are enemies that are this strength. They have this many numbers, really, is a big thing. Like there are this many enemies here. I do model it so that the players are supposed to reach certain points at certain times. It's like I have like basically when I started this campaign, this section of the campaign at least, I was like, this is meant for a campaign that's going to lead them from levels 2 to 5. And with that, they're going to go from 2 to 5. There's going to be one dungeon at level 2, which will get them to level 3 pretty quickly. Then at level 3, they're going to have 2 dungeons that are little mini dungeons they're going to go through. Level 4 has one big dungeon. And level 5 has the main bad guy dungeon for this arc, you know. So I had prepared ahead of time. I had said, there are this many enemies in this one. I didn't do all the detail work, but I was like, there's this many enemies in this one. There's this many enemies in this one. There will be these dudes waiting for them here at this point, and they should be, if they go on the right path, they should be at the right level to fight them. However, they don't always, you know, your players, the plans never survive contact with the enemy. That's a quote that Matt Colville also uses. And they're not enemies, it's a cooperative thing, but you get the idea. It's like the players will always make your plans go differently than you expected, which is fun. So they've gotten a little off the rails and gone to the main bad guy's enemy stronghold first, which I wasn't expecting, and they got captured as a result. They weren't ready to fight those guys, and they realized that. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It just means that they're gonna be challenged, and then they're probably gonna go to like the level 3 dungeon, one of those at some point, and then they're gonna be steamrolling, you know. But even in those dungeons, depending on how they approach them, if they don't approach them the correct way, there are a lot of enemies here. Maybe they'll get overwhelmed. Even the level 3 dungeons, they are split up into multiple encounters. But if the group does something that I was not expecting, and for some reason attracts the attention of the whole dungeon is going to come down upon them. I'm not going to have mercy on them just because they screw up, you know. I might go a little easy on them in combat. Sometimes I do. But I think that's the thing. Is like there is another thing that Matt Colville has said. I really recommend him if you ever want to do D&D as the Dungeon Master or as a player. There's one thing he said that I really agree with, I think, after my limited experience, is before conflict, before encounters, when you're setting up things for your players to run into and go up against, be as harsh as you can reasonably be. I mean, I don't think he actually said it like that, but be harsh, be difficult, make it difficult, make as many outs and stuff for your enemies as possible, equip them well. Then, when you're in combat and actually up against your players, sort of controlling the enemies at least, then give your players the benefit of the doubt as much as you can. And at that point, go easy on them. Don't go easy on them with the tactics that the enemy uses, but go easy on them in the sense that if a player wants to do something, maybe the rules won't make it work. You know, maybe the rules don't say that it works exactly like that, but give them the benefit of the doubt and work with it. Flex the rules a little bit so that the players can have a little more leeway to do things that are a little outside of the box. And for instance, in our campaign, like in one encounter that they had that wasn't supposed to be as nearly as hard as they made it, the enemy was shooting fireballs. However, the enemy couldn't see. The enemy could roughly, honestly, looking by the rules, the enemy probably would have been able to roughly guess where the players were and sort of get a decent shot at the players with the fireballs that they were shooting. However, I was like, no, you know, they probably would be panicked. They just got attacked. They weren't expecting it, and this is they don't know what's coming. It's just like a wall of darkness that is coming. One of the players used the darkness spell, so no one could really see anything. The enemies too. So some of the enemies had rushed in to attack. Now they're enveloped by darkness. The enemy bad guy, if they had shot their fireball in the perfect spot, they probably would have. They would have been able to miss most of their allies, but hit most of the players. However, I was like, realistically, they probably wouldn't. You know, so even though by rules they probably could roughly locate where they don't have to see the person for this spell, they just have to point to where they want to fire, and they could probably roughly figure out where the players are. However, I was like, realistically, they'd probably just shoot it kind of randomly, so I rolled the dice to figure out where they shot it, and they ended up shooting this fireball in a place where it killed like half of their allies, half of the bad guys that the players were going up against. I think the players actually thought I was going easy on them. To a certain extent, I was, by even allowing that sort of roll in the first place. I was giving them the benefit of the doubt, though I was doing what I thought was realistic. And also, I wasn't really going easy on them. But besides that, I didn't purposely pick that spot. I didn't lie. I rolled the dice. It could have gone the other way and hit all the players, or not all the players, but like a lot of the players, and none of the bad guys, or one or two, you know. So I don't think, I think some of them might have thought I was going easy on them, but I actually wasn't. Anyways, I don't think they're watching this, otherwise, if you are, let it be known I wasn't going on easy. You know what encounter I'm talking about. But anyways, I'm going to end this episode here. Thank you guys for watching. Please go leave a like and subscribe for more. We'll come back next episode and continue on with our war against Ming. We're doing alright. I built some new armies and stuff. Probably going to build one or two more. But, yeah. Just waiting on sieges. Not too interesting. Thanks for watching, though. See you guys later. Bye-bye.